Hello, and welcome to the R&K Investing YouTube channel. Today we will be analyzing the British American Tobacco Company. Before we get started, I would like to ask all of you to check out the description for further info. If you ever do not understand a term, there's a link to Investopedia there. This website has many great explanations of investment terms. To begin, we will shortly look at BAT's business and a general company overview. I place priority on fundamental analysis, thus we will have a rather short look at the charts followed by a rather thorough analysis of BAT's financials and ratios. I cut the competitors due to a lack of time. If a lot of interest is shown, I will make a separate and detailed videos on the big players in the tobacco sector. Also, I have not been able to fully read all and evaluate all the 10K filings since 2008. As with competitors, if interest is shown, I'll make a video going through and analyzing these in detail. Though the annual reports that I have been able to read have not had any significant warnings or signs of setbacks in them. At the end, I will sum up the video and explain my recommendation on investing in BAT. I would like to start off with the company overview. Our large aspect in the valuation of BAT is its acquisition of Reynolds American Inc. in 2017. This added 3 more worldwide known brands to its already vast selection. Apart from this $49 billion investment, BAT is also investing large sums into e-cigarettes and other vaping and risk-reduced articles, making it, regardless of the 4.6% annual traditional tobacco smoking decrease, a future-orientated company. I've gone ahead and highlighted the more important infos. Feel free to pause and read through how the company identifies itself. At this point, I would like to add that apart from the state-owned China National Tobacco Company, BAT now has the worldwide largest market cap, book value, and market share of all tobacco companies, especially after the acquisition of Reynolds. Now to a very short chart analysis segment. You can see in the top left corner the prices in the last 5 years, that we've pretty much been at a high point and gone down and hit a pretty much a low of 35, less than 35, and it's sort of recovered now, but we can't see how the market will continue. It is at a fair value at this point. The share price dropped over 55% in the last 2 years. But since 1995 around, we've had a continuous price increase even after recessions, and the company has continuously been growing. We can see that by the 2000 .com crash, which didn't really affect the company much. It did drop beforehand, but it didn't drop during the .com crash. 2008, it dropped massively during the general crash, but it's recovered within 2 years. Next up, we will take a look at BAT's financial ratios. I've marked the most important info, so you can take a look at that later. Looking at the company's ability to cover its debt, which mainly resulted from the recent buy-up of Reynolds, one can identify, although BAT may not have the best current ratio, this is more than made up by its debt to equity, resulting in that although the company's current assets do not cover all of its debt, it has more than enough equity, meaning money on hand, to pay off all debts. BAT's efficiency ratios may be questionable in 2018, though this can be traced back to a massive amount of retained earnings. We will be taking a look at these later. In short, the efficiency ratios are not worrisome at all due to them not being accurate. The book value is above the share price and has been steadily increasing in the last 10 years. This is a sign of a prospering company. The company's financials are weighted quite heavily in fundamental analysis. Thus, this section of the video is probably the largest. Starting off with income statement. It's noteworthy that the gross profit has steadily been increasing. This is due to a higher percentage increase of revenue than increase in cost of goods. Just look at the chart. You'll see there's the percentage change is pretty much just the difference. Income taxes have also only slightly increased compared to earnings and revenue. It's a positive sign. They're saving taxes. And due to the huge investment in 2017, $10 billion in income taxes were able to be written off. This is about as much as the BAT pays income tax in 4 years. So the net income and EPS is hidden for the same reason as the efficiency ratios. We'll get into that in the resume later. Continuing with the balance sheet, cash on hand has stayed similar since 2009, whilst assets have recovered back to and above 2008 values. Meanwhile, total assets have quadrupled since 2008, whilst liabilities only tripled. Now we come to the retained earnings part. These have spiked up in 2017 and sum up to nearly cover all liabilities if adding up 2017 and 2018. This is a huge hidden aspect on why BAT is an investment worth taking a look at. Shareholder equity has similarly spiked after the buy-up of Reynolds. On to the cash flow statement. This shows that the net income has doubled since 2012, especially after the acquisition of Reynolds. Plus, for the first time in years, BAT has had a positive change in assets to liabilities, and quite a large one at that. Continuously, BAT has had negative investing income, which is good. We can clearly see when Reynolds was acquired and when large investments are carried out. Apart from that, when a company has positive investing income, this means it is selling investments, which often is a sign of downsizing. Whilst $25 billion in debt was issued in 2017, over $4.5 billion was already retired the following year. Negative financial income translates to debts being retired and dividends being paid. Apart from a few exceptions, this is a positive thing. For decades now, BAT has been paying dividends, especially continuously throughout crisis years. These dividends have been increasing in yield and amount over the years. Also, after 2018, they're now paying quarterly instead of annual dividends, so you get like a fourth of a dividend paid out quarterly. That's why we should buy before November 14th, but we'll talk about that in the resume. And this is characteristic of a well set up and well managed company, pretty much. And on to the part you've all been waiting for, to the resume. But wait, before we get started, I would like to advise this is my personal opinion and only a recommendation of action. If you're now interested in BAT, I encourage you to do your own research and then make your own decisions based off of that. But let's get started. The discount cash flow calculator has calculated a solid 8.95 annual return rate. Oh my god. This largely comes down to the high dividend being paid, which is like 7.5% of that, but you've got the growth too. Intrinsic value has been determined at $67, but that's with a book value growth of 3% a year, and with a more conservative book value growth of 1% a year, you've got like about $59 book value. The stock price, which has dropped sharply in the last year, is only about $10 above the lowest 2008 prices, meaning that with patience, one may be able to buy BAT stock at only a slight premium to 2008 crash prices. This is crazy. The company has grown massively since then, both in income and in general book value. Much of the pessimism and thus price originates from the fear that smoking is a dying practice. This can be countered though with the fact that vaping is becoming ever more prevalent in society, especially in like below 20s population segments, but also with older people that are trying to quit smoking. To sum up, if shares can be bought at below $30, then an amazing opportunity can be realized, but due to market uncertainty, I can't recommend buying above a price of $35 a share. If a fair buy price is possible before the 14th of November, the buyer will get you'll get a nice little premium pocketed. You'll pocket the dividend of 62 cents per share. If you enjoyed this analysis and would be interested in more, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, if you have different views or think I've used something incorrectly, please inform me and the other viewers in the comments section where we can then discuss it. On that note, have a successful trading day.